I call this October 12th, 2021 meeting of the Morrisville Town Council to order. This meeting is being streamed on the Town of Morrisville website. On October 15th, a video of this meeting will be uploaded to www.townofmorrisville.org/government/live-video. Our mission statement, which guides our decisions as a council, is connecting our diverse community to an enhanced quality of life through innovative programs and services. Sergeant Chad Penland is our Sergeant-at-Arms this evening and has been a law enforcement officer for 21 years and is currently assigned to the Field Operations Division. Thank you for being with us this evening. This past Friday, we were reminded of the fragility of life with the sad passing of one of our community, Pastor Mark McKinney, who died in a tragic accident, and this invocation is with him in mind and those families who have lost loved ones. We are forever changed by those who have touched our lives. The author of this poem is unknown, and the title is Loving Memories. Your gentle face and patient smile with sadness we recall. You had a kindly word for each and died beloved by all. The voice is mute and stilled the heart that loved us well and true. Ah, bitter was the trial to part from one so good as you. You are not forgotten, loved one, nor will you ever be. As long as life and memory last, we will remember thee. We miss you now, our hearts are sore. As time goes by, we miss you more. Your loving smile, your gentle face. No one can fill your empty place. To Pastor Matt and all at New Life Church and the many others whose lives were made better through Pastor Mark and his life's work, we mourn with you. All who are able, please stand and join in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this time, I believe staff would like us to consider an adjustment to the agenda. Town Manager Page.
Thank you, Mayor. We'd add one additional closed session for the purposes of discussing real property, real estate.
Okay. In addition to that, before we adopt tonight's agenda, Town Council policy is to review and ensure there are no conflicts of interest or appearance of conflict of interest with any items on the agenda. Is there anything any council members would like to share? Seeing none, is there a motion and second to adopt this evening's agenda as amended by the town manager to include an additional closed session to discuss real property acquisition?
I move. Sorry.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
I have a motion and second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that carries unanimously 7-0. There is one item on this evening's consent agenda, a budget ordinance amendment for reappropriation of fund balance from prior year 2021. Does anyone want to discuss this before we entertain a motion? I'd entertain a motion to adopt the consent agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that also carries 7-0. We have three presentations tonight. Proclamations recognizing Community Planning Month and Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and a LAP grant application presentation. I will now recognize Mayor Pro Tem Johnson, who was a member of the Planning and Zoning Board, to read the first proclamation, after which we will have the current members of the Planning and Zoning Board come up to receive the proclamation and a photo with the council, please.
Thank you. It's my honor to read this proclamation tonight. The proclamation is recognizing October as Community Planning Month. Whereas change is constant and impacts all cities, towns, suburbs, counties, boroughs, townships, and rural areas, and community planning and planners can help manage this change in a way that provides better choices for how people live, work, and play in their communities. And whereas community planning provides an opportunity for all residents to be involved in making choices that demonstrate the shared vision of their neighborhoods, and the full benefits of planning requires public officials and citizens to understand, support, and demand excellence in planning and plan implementation. And whereas the month of October is designated as National Community Planning Month, throughout the United States of America and its territories. And whereas the American Planning Association and its professional institute, the American Institute of Certified Planners, endorsed National Community Planning Month as an opportunity to highlight the contributions sound planning and plan implementation make to the quality of our neighborhoods and environment. And whereas the celebration of National Community Planning Month gives us the opportunity to publicly recognize the participation and dedication of the members of the Planning and Zoning Board and other citizen planners who have contributed their time and expertise to the improvement of the town of Morrisville. And whereas we recognize the many valuable contributions made by the professional community and regional planners of Morrisville, and extend our heartfelt thanks for the continued commitment to public service by these professionals. Now, therefore, the Town Council of the Town of Morrisville does hereby recognize the month of October 2021 as Community Planning Month in conjunction with the celebration of National Community Planning Month. And I recognize we have some folks from our Planning and Zoning Board here tonight. We have at least 2 folks I can see. So Ken and Josh, you want to come up, please, to the front, and we'll recognize you and your efforts.
You can all go in front.
Oliver? We're all coming. Recognize and adapt to the challenges of the growth here in Morrisville. So if you can all give the Planning and Zoning Board members a hand tonight. Thank you so much. Normally I don't do that.
I would now like to recognize Councilmember Rao to read our next proclamation, after which those members of our IT staff can come on up.
It's an honor for me, Mayor and Council, to read a proclamation in honor of cybersecurity, such an important issue, and I do want to thank our IT staff for all the great work they do for the town of Morrisville. We're very proud of you. Proclamation recognizing October as Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Whereas the town of Morrisville recognizes that it plays a vital role in identifying, protecting its citizens from, and responding to cybersecurity threats that may have significant impact to our individual and collective safety and privacy. And whereas cybersecurity education and awareness is crucial for everyone, including large corporations, small businesses, financial institutions, schools, government agencies, the home user, and anyone who connects to the internet. And whereas the town of Morrisville's Cybersecurity Awareness Program was established in April 2019 to enhance and protect the town of Morrisville's cybersecurity ecosystem. And whereas the town of Morrisville's Cybersecurity Awareness Program was designed to inspire, engage, and inform the public about the demand, opportunities, and career options available within the area of cybersecurity, and highlight how building the town of Morrisville's cybersecurity workforce enhances the nation's security and promotes economic prosperity. And whereas maintaining the security of cyberspace is a shared responsibility in which each of us has a critical role to play, and awareness of essential cyber hygiene will improve the security of town of Morrisville's information infrastructure and economy. Now, therefore, the Town Council of the town of Morrisville does hereby proclaim the month of October as Cybersecurity Awareness Month and encourages the people, businesses, and institutions of Morrisville to recognize the importance of cybersecurity, to take action to better protect yourselves against cyber threats, and to observe Cybersecurity Awareness Month in support of our digital security and resilience. Thank you.
And we have some proclamations for you too, if you want to come on up. See? Everyone, if you want.
Thank you all. We do encourage all of our residents to visit staysafe.online.org and stopthinkconnect.org for more information on cybersecurity. We do appreciate everything tonight. Again, Morrisville, along with the Research Triangle, has just been announced as Readiness Challenge winner for the Smart City work that we're doing, as well as data sharing efforts around mobility. Our first session is tomorrow. I believe our communications department is getting more information out on how to register for that session. So we encourage anyone to visit that link, register for the webinar, and listen in. We will have additional sessions that we will post more information on in the future. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, sir. And next, the man who needs no introduction, but this is Mark Spagnoli, our Director of Engineering. He's going to make the next presentation.
Good evening. Thank you, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, council members, Mark Spagnoli, Director of Engineering. Thank you for the kind words. And I got to plug the IT guys. Our IT staff is outstanding. They really take good care of us, so I just wanted to say that out loud. So anyway, jumping right in, we've got a brief presentation about our LAP grant application process. Some of it will be an overview for some of you, and then we'll get into some details and some projects, but we're going to take a few minutes to do that this evening. So just a quick background, and hopefully this is a refresher for most of you. What is LAP? LAP is a local administered project program that's administered by our local MPO, our CAMPO. This is a state disbursement of federal funds for smaller transportation type projects. It's how we prioritize and program local transportation projects here in Wake County. We utilize federal funds as part of this LAP grant process. It is a competitive process. We do compete against other municipalities in the area. And right now we would be applying for the federal fiscal year 23 application cycle. And the total funding that's available this year is about $25 million. So there are some basic requirements that need to be met in order to apply. Basically, there's three categories we apply under. It's either a roadway project, a bicycle pedestrian project, or a transit type project. There are minimum thresholds, so the projects under the roadway and bicycle pedestrian category would have to be at least $200,000 in value. The transit's $100,000 minimum value. They must be shovel ready. The town or the municipality must sponsor the project, so there's a match requirement. In this case, the minimum match requirement is 20% of local funds. You'd have an interlocal agreement process, and it's got to be a solution to a current transportation problem under the CAMPO guidelines. So we took a look at potential projects that we could use or to apply for the upcoming application cycle. Under the bicycle pedestrian category, we spent some time already looking at various sidewalk type projects, and some of them are listed here. Lewis Stevens is eligible, NC 54. The Sorrel Grove one is under the threshold of value, so that one would not be eligible. And International Drive is also eligible. Transit right now, our shuttle program is already pretty much in progress, so that one wouldn't be something we would be asking for grant money for. And our roadway projects, many of our major roadway projects are already in some type of funding process. And our intersection improvement projects are really under review right now for prioritization. And we're going to be coming back to you shortly to go over those in more detail. So based on this information and for our fiscal year 23 application cycle, we've narrowed it down and are recommending that we apply for Lewis Stevens sidewalk project. This one's already in the design phase, so it would be shovel-ready in time for the fiscal 23 cycle. It does meet the criteria that is required in the lab process, and we do already have a lot of information that we can provide for the grant application. And again, we don't have any transit projects right now that we're ready to go for shovel-ready, and the same for intersection improvement projects. Those are still under evaluation. So to give you a quick project overview of Lewis Stevens, it's a sidewalk gap project where sidewalk missing sections are missing. We want to go ahead and construct those segments. This area would be along Lewis Stevens from Gray Marble Road to De La Ronde Lane, and also wrapping around the corner of Lewis Stevens and McCrimmon. A little more detailed overview, the estimated construction cost for this project is $550,000. It's about 3,200 linear feet of new sidewalk in the area. It was ranked, after we went through our prioritization process, it was ranked the #1 remaining sidewalk segment to get completed. It provides sidewalk connectivity to existing sidewalk connections, as well as provided, connectivity if you want to make your way around to McCrimmon Corners and some of the activities there, the senior center and so forth. It certainly would provide pedestrian safety. We do have evidence of worn path there, so people are walking in that area and they're not able to walk on a safe sidewalk. There are some challenges. We do have some potential right-of-way acquisition and some sidewalk easements that we would need to work through, but we're currently in the survey and design phase now on that project. So right now, our current application, we've actually submitted a preliminary application. We did that in September. It's a request for a matching grant, and we put in, preliminarily, we put in an 80-20 split on that one. So the town's portion would be about $110,000, and the lab portion would be $440,000. Our deadline for the final submittal is at the end of this month, so we wanted to have a discussion with you all about that. And again, the total cost for the project is $550,000. So to kind of put us in the framework of discussion, the lab process, if we're awarded, this would count against our future projects. So the way it works is right now we are allowed to submit for 6 projects because of the size of our population. Once you start applying for projects, that number shrinks down within 5-year periods. So if you apply for 1 project, the next time you can only apply for 5. The town, we know that because we have some funding already that has been granted to us, like for Morrisville Carpenter Road, we know that in one category we won't receive any points. There are a number of categories that you receive up to 80 points for. And in general, I reviewed last year's submittals that went to Campo, and even though the maximum score was 80 points, in the bike ped category, the most points that were given to the highest rank was about 61. And in order to at least stay in the ranking, you'd have to at least get half as much as the highest ranked. So in other words, you would have to at least get 30 points to stay in. But that's how it was last cycle. I just took a quick look to see how the things ranked, just to give us a general idea. We also asked recently what the total amount of requests are. That currently, the total amount of requests in this category are at 16 million, and the bike ped category only has 6.75 available to give out. The local match can affect our scoring. It's not a major category, but if we were to, let's say, give 30% instead of 20%, that could give us a couple extra points in the ranking. And we just want to have a discussion about how this impacts our future applications. Should we continue to and apply at this time for this sidewalk segment, and how this will impact our future applications. So that's the end of my presentation this evening. Open for discussion.
Does anyone have any questions for the engineer? Councilmember Garamella?
Thanks, Mark. My question is regarding the first point. If awarded, we will be counted against the future score. What do we have in the pipeline for the next 5 years? Because, I understand 550, for me, like when you go to Campo, you go for a big bucks. This is a small one, so how much does that affect, and what you envision in the next 5 years, which are something that's brewing up? So for going for this, are we jeopardizing a bigger fish later? That's my question.
So generally we have about $2 million in other sidewalk segments that need to be completed, so that's something to consider. And then we have the intersection improvement projects that we're evaluating now, and that totaled of about $5 million in projects. So just between those two, you have to consider that there could be another $7 million in projects. To be frank, there's no guarantee you'd get grants for all of those anyway, but it's certainly something to consider. When it comes to roadway projects, they have to be on certain corridors. Like, it can't be on a local municipal road. It's got to be on certain major collectors and stuff for it to even be eligible for LAP. So just keep that in mind. And some of those were on local roads. So not all the ones in the intersection improvement projects would be eligible for LAP application.
And we don't have any shovel ready because most of us state roads take it. Morrisville Carpenter, which is already in works. Macraman is already funded, so that's one. Davis Drive, we are making 7. That's already funded. So we don't have a whole lot of projects, right? Like, especially other than 54, that we are using airport as a bypass there.
Yeah, and even airport is ready to go too. So all of the major roadway projects are generally already in some kind of transportation improvement program or some kind of future program for funding.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Councilmember Rabati, followed by Councilmember Scroggins-Johnson, please.
Yeah. So this application counts against us in scoring. Is that across categories? So in other words, we can only submit 5 more projects across all categories?
Yes. So that's correct. So it's 3 projects for roadway and 3 projects for pedestrian and bicycle. Transit projects, if we wanted to do a transit project, we would do that through Go Carry or one of the other operators, because we're not a transit agency.
Mm-hmm. And what's your recommendation? Because this seems like kind of a small project to me in the scheme of things.
Yeah.
And I guess, a lot about what types of projects generally get approved. Do we have a high likelihood of getting approved here?
After studying the point system and kind of trying to rank it myself, I would recommend pursuing the grant application for the Lewis Stevens. We had the pre-submittal application, also had a pre-submittal meeting where we sat and talked with the folks that are actually going to do the reviews. And they gave us some tips on how to get higher scoring in some of the categories, so we have a chance to make that adjustment for the final application. I think the only question really is the 80-20 versus the 70-30. That's not a category that, when you do the math on it, it's kind of like a formula. It's not going to, if you went from the 80-20 to the 70-30, it's not a huge difference. It maybe gets you a couple points. So that one I wasn't sure what my recommendation would be exactly. But I would continue pursuing it. After looking over the package, I would pursue it.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Councilmember Scroggins-Johnson, please.
Thank you very much. This scoring is very complex, and if we apply for this project that is recommended, connecting our sidewalks, and we don't get it, we don't get penalized. However,
right.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, but if we do get it, we're kind of penalized in that we have less points for future projects, and we have a few that are coming up. So are roadways and sidewalks considered different in the consideration for the money? They set aside certain ones for sidewalks versus roads?
So that's a good question. Actually, so the roadway category, actually, there's more money available for projects than in the bike ped category. So It's about 16.25 million in the roadway category versus only 6.75 in the bike ped category. So the scoring is very similar, though, the way they rank the projects, and they both type of projects do get a maximum of 80 points, so that part of it's pretty much stays the same, but there is more money available. I mean, roadway projects tend to be more expensive. That's probably the reason why there's more money.
Of course.
Right.
I do have a question as it relates to Morrisville Carpenter Road. On your second point, you've said that we get 0 points because we've kind of put everything into the Morrisville Carpenter Road project. I mean, literally, we've increased the amount of contribution, and it's underway, and it will be underway until next year. Will any of those points come back over time so that we can use them for future projects?
Yes, so the following year, that will clear up because Morrisville, that 2018 number will fall out of the 5 years. So that will come up. But we do have, we did receive funding last fiscal year for Airport Boulevard extension. So that will come back up within the 5 years. So that one's still lingering as well. That's a complicated formula also because it's per capita. So depending on your population size, they do another formula for that, and they can determine if you're eligible for any of the points. It's not always 0. It could be somewhere between 0 and 10. But in this case, since Morrisville Carpenter was so large, that it ended up being 0 for us in that one category.
Okay. So there is another road project that is in the works that would affect this roadway score.
This category, out of the 80, with this 10-point category is going to be affected, yes.
So this is my thinking at this time, and of course, after hearing everybody, it might change slightly, but it seems like the local match at 20% minimum seems to be reasonable. Anything raising it on such a small amount really isn't going to give us the edge that we might see in a larger project. Also, I think we might have a better chance of being awarded the grant in the sidewalk category versus the roads. I'm sure the roads category is a very competitive field right now across the region. So I think this proposed project, just being sidewalk versus road, has a better chance overall, perhaps. But I don't know anything about the other projects and all of their positive attributes and points. So thank you.
Thank you.
Councilmember Fender, please.
Yeah, I'm still just trying to understand how this project would impact future applications. Did you say it's within a 5-year period of time?
Yes, that's how it's put into the criteria that if a project was awarded within a 5-year period, then it does impact you for 5 years.
Does it matter about how much of the cost?
It does matter. So in this particular case, Morrisville Carpenter was so large, then that's why we got zero points in this category. If it had been much lesser amount, we could have potentially got a few points in this category.
Okay. All right. That was my only question. Thank
Okay.
you.
Councilmember Rao, please.
Excuse me. I'm in favor of applying for it just because I think public safety and sidewalks is really important. But it does concern me, from a policy perspective, that if we're awarded this project, it would affect us for future scoring, because I do think what I'm hearing from residents is we really also need to widen our roadways. So, Morrisville Carpenter was such a win because we were able to take leadership, focus on that, get the design approved, and then get the lap funding. So hopefully, we can get this. And I really wish the DOT would pay for the sidewalks when they do these projects, because that would help our residents more to get both. But at this point, I'm in favor of at least going for the grant, and whatever money we can get in our transportation would be good at this point.
Mayor Pro Tem Johnson.
So, Mark, you had me at evidence of worn path.
Yeah, I saw you nodding, actually, when I said that.
That was, I wanted to make sure that was included in our criteria, because that is our very important data point that tells us where sidewalks need to be. And this is evident, this area needs to have sidewalks. So I'm 100% behind this. But just just for everybody's information, if we did not fund this through the LAP program or fund it ourselves, how would these sidewalks be constructed, and by who and when?
So this project, as a good example, is we're already in the design phase. We're working on the design and the survey work. So it was our plan that it would be along with the bond proceeds for pedestrian improvements. So this and all the top priority projects, that's how we were planning on funding them. I mean, of course, the more money we can get from grants obviously stretches our dollars even farther. So.
That's right. So besides the town of Morrisville and maybe the LAP funding or any other grant funding we may have, it's up to us to make sure these sidewalks get built.
Sure, that's right.
Thank you.
And if I could just add one thing, you all did an outstanding job with the prioritization criteria, and it actually is generally in line with the scoring criteria that Campo looks at. So we did a good job as a town at making sure that we were in line with potential grant opportunities.
Thank you. I'm in favor of moving forward and with your recommendations. So thank you.
Yeah, as am I. I think it's important to strike while the iron's hot, and to wait, I think, doesn't really get us much. And this is one that is really important and a priority for the town. So if we can leverage some of our dollars, I'd be really interested in that. So we've all had a chance to speak. I'd like to give everyone a second round who wishes. I saw Councilmember Garamella first, followed by Councilmember Rabati.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. I'm thinking to go up to 30%. The reason I say that is because the joint council meeting that we had with Kerry and this one, pretty much DOT doesn't have a whole lot of money in the pipeline too. So even if I really hate to see like we lose by a point, if that's what a tie is, and 110, 30%, 165,000. But in the long run, at least we are getting that, you know. So for me, like we are the best we gave a shot for our fair share. I think it's better because we don't know next year how much money will be left for, you know, the DOT, the amount of funding that they're losing day in, day out. So I would say give our best shot going into it. At 65,000, I think it's money well spent if we had to at least get a point over some other point that we lose with.
Thank you. Councilmember Rabati?
Actually, I was going to follow along those same lines as Councilmember Garamella. I'm also in favor of the 70-30 split, and the reason is because this area, I don't know if everyone is familiar with this area, but it's right behind Breckenridge, which is my development, and people were taking their lives in their hands, walking along this stretch, which they do at all hours of the day and night. They were taking their lives in their hands before the Lewis Stevens extension connected us to Little Road. But now, I mean, it's precarious to be walking along there. The road curves, people are really not paying attention, and this is a project that I want to see have the greatest possible chance of success. And I think $55,000, honestly, there is going to be a fatality along that road. There absolutely is. And I think that the most we can do to get the sidewalks back there, the better.
Okay. Thank you very much. So more of a straw poll. Sounds like we have some support for 30. Would anyone like to keep it at 20, or can we just give staff direction to submit at 30? Okay, looks like you...
So only 2 or 30, right? The rest all are 20 still?
No.
I'm fine with 30.
I'm fine with 30. I'm fine with doing a 70-30 match.
30, yes.
So.
Okay.
And I agree, Ann. It's necessary. It's an important project, and I think we need to do all we can. If we don't get this funding, we're going to end up paying for the whole price tag anyhow. So, the better chance we have of leveraging our portion, I think the better in the end. So.
Okay. So does staff have what they need from us on this issue?
Yes, thank you so much.
Thanks for all the hard work and the prioritization that led us to this point. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Have a good evening.
Okay. We're now at item 9, public address. Town Clerk Smith will now present any public comments received and let us know if there's anyone here in person.
Yes, sir. We did receive one public comment via email from William Dudkowitz, 1112 Justice Walk Avenue, Morrisville. It reads, maybe I'm old-fashioned, but I'm very disturbed with the pattern I see for donations by individuals and PACs that have business before council. Public office is a public trust and must be free of conflicts. The recent donation by a PAC and developer working on the new town center is very concerning. Why hasn't this been explained? How can the town effectively contract for services if they do not enforce a conflict of interest policy? Council members should disclose these conflicts on their own and not wait for citizens to review their finance reports. I know it is election time and this is a sensitive question, but I hope the council will do the right thing and address this issue. There were also 2 residents signed up to speak for public address. The first, Mr. Lauderdale.
Your name and address for the record, sir, and you'll have 3 minutes.
Here's your copy. Perfect, thank you.
Good evening. Thank you for this opportunity and democracy. I'm Steve Lauderdale.
Actually, Mr. Lauderdale, I think the other microphone is for our guests.
Excuse me.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Good evening. Thank you for this opportunity and democracy. I'm Steve Lauderdale. I'm a Morrisville resident. I live at 2104 Glade Valley Lane. I want to start by praising our Chief of Police. Chief Andrews made an amazing contribution to our community. Our loss will be Durham's gain. I wish her the best. I also want to talk about the September 28 Town Council meeting. The last council meeting included a vote to approve a memorandum of understanding with Sing Development for the Town Center Core Demonstration Project. Sing Development is headquartered in Bloomington, Michigan. There is also a Sing PAC, Political Action Committee, also in Bloomington, Michigan. The address and phone number of the PAC is the same address and phone number of the development company. Sing PAC made a campaign contribution. The contribution was made during the current Board of Elections cycle and prior to the vote. Yet, no conflict of interest or appearance of conflict of interest was reported at the September 28 meeting. Instead, during the meeting, Councilmember Rao thanked the developer.
At this time, I don't think it's appropriate to be naming council members during our public address.
That's fine. I can strike that. I am familiar with the rules which say to address the entire council, not an individual. I wasn't addressing, hey, council member X, why did you not favor 30%? I was speaking to the entire council, but just recapping what happened at the meeting. In any case, I'm interested in the town center. And it is sad that this important project might be tainted by a campaign contribution from the Sing PAC. I support the bond referenda, but I'm concerned that the appearance of conflicts of interest erodes trust in how the town council votes on contracts. How can taxpayers feel comfortable that the appearance of conflicts of interest are adequately addressed during town council meetings? Thank you.
And we do have a second resident signed up to speak, Mr. Marugason.
Your name and address for the record, sir, and you'll have 3 minutes.
Good evening. My name is Kumanan Murugesan. I live in Providence Place, 2020 Kirkhaven Road, Morrisville. I am here to talk about the state of basketball courts in this town. I am a resident for the last 12 years in this town. I've been training basketball for kids, starting from the age group of 8 to 16, and we have an active adult basketball group. I have my fellow friends here. Can you raise your hands, please? So, thing is, there are like 40 to 50 kids getting trained in basketball. You can see them before dawn. You can see them after dusk. They don't want to go back home. So they don't want to play video games. They want to play basketball. But in order to play basketball, the sad situation is we have to drive miles and miles away, at least 8 to 10 miles. So usually we go and play in Apex Community Park, which is 12 miles from my home, and Thomasburg Park, Mills Park, Alston Ridge Park, Alston Ridge School, and Green Hope High School, Green Hope Elementary. But there is a court just a walkable distance from my home, but that court is not usable. And there are a lot of cracks, the boards are not good, no fence, and one maybe 20-watt bulb just for the entire court. I look around that side, there's a big baseball court where there are 20 lights. And go across the street, I go to the Church Street, there is a cricket court with lights like sunlight. And I see tennis courts, a lot of lights. But basketball courts, one light, broken, cracked surface, no fence, and it is not safe for the kids to play. So I just took an inventory of the list of parks in this town. Cedar Fork, 37 acres, 8 fields. Church Street Park, 3 tennis courts. Crabtree, $9 million spent, town contributed $1.4 million. Northwest Park, 0 fields. Morrisville Community Park, there is a youth baseball, softball, and athletic fields. Shiloh Park, 1 basketball court. So this whole town has just 2 courts. So I've been talking to the town, communicating with the town, requesting for basketball courts, renovating the court completely. I've been following for the last year and a half. So the town replied, they are going to resurface the court. We don't want to resurface the court. We want a complete renovation with lights, fence, and clean surface with good boards. That's the only thing I'm asking for, just 2 basketball courts, at least a basketball court in every 3 miles. That's all I have.
Okay. Thank you to all our speakers. Our council has heard you, and our staff has heard you, and we will take it under advisement. We generally don't discuss or reply at the meeting. At this, was there anyone else signed up? Is there anyone in the room who would like to sign up, who would like to speak, who didn't sign up? Please, sir. Your name and address for the record. You'll have 3 minutes.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the Town Council. Good evening. I'm Jim Simmons. I live at 100 Golden Horseshoe Circle. I just received a note from the family of Pastor Mark of New Life Church. They're very touched by your invocation, Mayor. You did a good job. Thank you. Secondly, a couple weeks ago, the staff talked to us about the new smart shuttle service. Another marvel of Morrisville. There it appeared out my front door, just as advertised, twice already now. So I'm very pleased to report that's good work. Lastly, 10 years ago, when I worked at a national security laboratory, we had thousands of cyber attacks every day. Your team here that does cyber security is very important. I wish maybe the town would do a little bit more advocacy, a little bit more information sharing about the value of their work and how it really helps us residents. It's really important. Next wars will be fought in cyber. We need to be prepared. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Was there anyone else in the room who wished to speak tonight? Okay. Thank you all very much. We're now at item 10, future meetings, events, and citizen involvement opportunities. As always, for a full listing of events, please see the town calendar at www.townofmorrisville.org. Every week, we have the Western Wake Farmers Market, every Saturday from 8 a.m. until noon. This Saturday, the Western Region FoodSecurity.org will be distributing free meals and produce boxes at Morrisville Elementary School from 11:30 a.m. until 1 p.m. There are 3 days left of our 5-day biannual curbside item pickup. So see our Public Works page for more details of what is and is not accepted on your regular trash pickup day. We have an exciting event coming up, a drop-in for the Bond Pop-In from 4 to 6 p.m. on October 19th at Indian Creek Trailhead. That's located right across the street at 101 Town Hall Drive. There you can get the facts and figures on the 2021 Morrisville Bond referendum, and that will be on the ballot November 2nd. There will be free popcorn and snacks will be provided to attendees who bring the postcard, which we mailed to the residents. Please save the date for our Trick or Treat the Trail this year on Saturday, October 23rd, starting at 3 p.m. at Morrisville Community Park. This is always a really fun event, and adults are encouraged to dress up as well. I would now recognize Councilmember Garamella for his comments.
I don't have any comments.
Okay. Councilmember Scroggins Johnson, followed by myself.
I get to go first. It's been quite a while since I get to go first. Well, I would like to say that October 2nd was a fantastic day for me. I got to start out by riding in the new Morrisville shuttle, and I hope by now each of you have had an opportunity and taken advantage of the shuttle service that we have now introduced to the town. It is fantastic, and most importantly, it is offered at a free. The shuttle has 15 nodes throughout the town, and as we are able to analyze ridership, we'll be able to identify what is working and what is not working. So I really encourage you, if you haven't already, please go ride the shuttle. The second event on October 2nd was Fire Safety Day, and that was super fun. There was a lot of people out and looking at some of the Morrisville fire equipment. There were fire trucks, there were fire rescue vehicles, there was an ATV, and some people even got to see the Duke helicopter. So that was pretty fun to see. We don't normally have a helicopter make an appearance on Safety Day, so that was extra special. The CERT team was out as well, and they're a very important part of our safety framework. So thank you, CERT, for coming out to that. Tomorrow night, we have an event that the town is supporting, but it is sponsored by the Morrisville Chamber, and that is the Candidate Forum. The Candidate Forum is offered live and also via Zoom. If you are interested in watching the Candidate Forum, you need to register. So go to the Morrisville Chamber of Commerce website and register so that you have an opportunity to see all the great things about the town and the candidates that are vying, including myself. But I really think everyone should be informed. So please try to attend the forum. And then the last thing is really a question to staff. I noticed that we have completed a pilot for the disc golf course, and we also had a pilot this year for the dog park. There were several pop-up dog parks on several weekends. Recently, I've seen that there are a new pilot, if you will. It's a pop-up disc golf, where there's a disc golf station, and it's kind of moving around every couple weeks, and there was even a schedule. So that's really helpful for our residents and visitors. But there was no rotating dog park. So I was wondering if it's possible to also do a continued pilot for the dog park. It seemed like that was wildly popular, but maybe there's a way that we could also offer that on a temporary basis until we determine what is the final state for that amenity, as well as the disc golf.
We can. So the challenge with that, and I think Jerry's here as well if he needs to jump in, but one is location. And so, we've done that at MCP because of the existing fenced areas. So that's the first challenge, is if we don't have existing fenced areas, there's a lot more expense involved with putting up a temporary dog park. And then the second, in that location, we have to give that field opportunities to rest over certain periods of the year. So that's why it stopped for the fall. Of course, there's also more baseball activity going on, but we will certainly revisit that when the time allows for that again in the future.
And if I could just add, you're getting a dog park report at your next council meeting.
Oh, that's fantastic. And does that report include, the cost of temporary fencing?
The report's in preparation.
Okay, just a hint. Thank you very much.
So the good thing about going first, you get to mention a lot of good things.
I did.
Which
Thank
is
you.
wonderful. I would also thank our police and fire departments and CERT team for their participation in not only Fire Safety Day, but also National Night Out. I especially appreciate the arrangement to have Duke Life Flight participate. Our fire trucks are really cool, but helicopters are also a favorite of mine, so that was neat to see that coming in. Kieran and the American Heart Association each had walkathon fundraisers this weekend, and it was wonderful to walk with a lot of friendly people around Bond Park Lake. It's really a beautiful walk if you haven't had a chance to do that. Thank you to Morrisville Elementary School Principal Ben Klein, his staff, the PTA, and the local Boy Scout troop for installing a food pantry, which is open 24/7 in the parking lot of the Morrisville Elementary School. It's kind of like a little free library, but instead of books, it's free food for those in need. Truly, Morrisville is innovation's home address at all ages. Happy to Shane and happy Bathukama for those who are celebrating those events. And as was mentioned during public address, I am sorry that Chief Andrews is leaving our Morrisville family, and I am happy for her professional growth and give my heartfelt thanks to her dedication and service these past 5 years. Morrisville is a more welcoming, inclusive, and safe community because of her efforts. This time I'd like to recognize Councilmember Rabati, followed by Councilmember Fender.
Yes, I did have a comment. I'm sorry, it has completely flown away. I guess no comments.
Why don't we, I'll
Maybe
I'll
back to me.
come
Yeah,
right back to you
that'd
after
be great. Thank you.
Councilmember Fender. Councilmember Fender?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. You and Councilmember Scroggins Johnson really said a lot about what's been going on in the town, so I won't repeat any of that. I'm going to talk about something totally different. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and I expect we'll do a proclamation to that effect at our next meeting. But in the meantime, I'm going to read something I wrote a few years ago. Did you know that 1 in 4 women will experience domestic violence in her lifetime? Sadly, most domestic violence cases are never reported to police. These women are scared, ashamed, and embarrassed. They fear retaliation and fear their friends and family will not believe them. Many women do not realize they are being abused. I didn't. I thought I needed to have black eyes and go to the emergency room before the abuse was considered domestic violence. I didn't realize that being pushed or slammed up against a wall was abuse. Now I do. According to the Department of Justice, domestic violence is a pattern of abusive behavior in any relationship that is used by one partner to gain or maintain power and control over another intimate partner. Domestic violence can be physical, sexual, emotional, economic, or psychological actions or threats of actions that influence another person. This includes any behaviors that intimidate, manipulate, humiliate, isolate, frighten, terrorize, coerce, threaten, blame, hurt, injure, or wound someone. Why does this matter? Because this violence could be happening to your neighbor, your sister, your mother, your daughter, or your coworker. This abuse could be happening to you. And abuse doesn't get better, only worse. The abuse and violence will escalate. The National Coalition Against Domestic Violence, did I already read that? Describes domestic violence as an epidemic affecting individuals in every community, regardless of age, economic status, race, religion, nationality, or educational background. Domestic violence knows no boundaries. I know this for a fact. I am a white, college-educated engineer. I am fiercely independent and successful in my career. The thought that one day I could be a victim of domestic violence was the furthest thing from my mind. As I shared my story more and more with friends and neighbors and colleagues, I have met many other survivors from all walks of life. We are the fortunate ones. Every day, 3 or more women are murdered by their husband or intimate partner. Over 1,000 women will be murdered in the U.S. this year by their husband or intimate partner. 46 domestic homicides have occurred already this year in my state alone. If that doesn't scare you, what about the effect on our children? Witnessing violence between one's parents or caretakers is the strongest risk factor of transmitting violent behavior from one generation to the next. It is estimated that over 3 million children witness domestic violence each year. A boy who witnesses abuse is twice as likely to abuse their partner as an adult. A girl witnessing abuse is more likely to tolerate abuse as a teenager and adult. If you are in an abusive relationship, the decision of if and when to leave is hard. I struggled with the decision myself. At what point was it no longer acceptable for my son to live with his dad? I was faced with the frightful decision on December 26, 2010, when the violence became too great to ignore any longer. I knew in my heart that abuse his dad was inflicting on me was hurting my son as well. For my son's innocence and well-being, I called the police, and his dad was arrested. For my son's self-esteem and self-worth, I obtained a restraining order. My son is no longer in an unhealthy, abusive environment. He is much safer, peaceful, and loving home. The cycle of violence was broken for my son. I hope and pray I broke it in time. Thousands of women will struggle with this same decision this year. Some will not leave. Others will be murdered by their husband or boyfriend as they try to leave. A few will make it to freedom. Then the difficult journey of recovery begins. These women and children will need a safe place to live. They will need legal advice and counseling. Most of all, these families will need our compassion, support, and understanding as they embark on their new life and attempt to make themselves whole again. Remember who they are. They are our mother, sister, daughter, neighbor, friend, and coworker. They are our nurse, hairstylist, chiropractor, and teacher. They are all around us. They could be me or they could be you. If you or someone you love is in an abusive relationship, please get help. Call the Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-SAFE or visit their website at www.thehotline.org. Thank you.
Thank you for that very brave sharing. Councilmember Abadi, followed by Councilmember Rao.
No,
Okay, Councilmember Rao, please.
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, it's great to be here this evening, and I just look forward to continuing to work with each of you guys in a positive manner. I think we bring out the best of each other up here, and I just wanted to say that we've got a great community, and just want everyone listening to know that we may not agree on everything, but the one thing we can agree upon is that positivity is what this town is all about, and that's what's made us an all-America city. I wanted to first of all say that Cybersecurity Awareness Month is a very important month, and This year, there's going to be a National Cybersecurity Awareness Alliance initiative. So next week, you can learn about Fight the Fish. The following week, explore, experience, and share, and learn about cybersecurity careers. And then the week of October 25th, cybersecurity first. And for those cities out there, if we are attacked in a cyber attack, you can always go to the North Carolina Department of Information Technology, headed up by Secretary Weaver, who reports to the governor for them to come and do a free assessment of your town. So a lot of people didn't know that. I do want to thank Chief Andrews for her exemplary service. I know we'll be giving her accolades, but she set the bar so high. I look forward to the leadership of Peter Costa, who's a great man and a great leader and a good friend. But her appreciation of our diverse and inclusive community has been an inspiration to many in Morrisville and around the region. Everything else I was going to say about Karen has been said. I want to thank Donna Fender for the courage to talk about her situation. We must do everything we can to stand up for women. Carrie Diwali was excellent. Batakuma was really fun. And the final 2 points I want to make is cricket was just an amazing community response. I want to thank everybody that was involved in it. Everybody around the region is talking about it. I think many of the commissioners came, Sig Hutchison, the chair, the vice chair, Vicki Adamson, Matt Calabria. I mean, it just was amazing. So I think that we have just such a great opportunity, and I think we can build upon that in the future. The final thing, I'll end with a story. Our son Ryan is getting his learner's permit, and he's got to get driving hours. And, you know, I'm a little bit upset because the Smart Shuttle's got Ryan, you know, I'm so used to picking him up and taking him and getting him his driving hours. And I came home one day, I go, where is he? And, well, he took the Smart Shuttle to the MAFC. You know, hey, where's Ryan? I want to go play tennis with him. Well, he's already waiting over there for you. He took the Smart Shuttle. So it's amazing that our high school kids can use this. And folks, this is big. It's on-demand service. And so I just wanted to say, I never thought that my high school junior would be using Smart Shuttle. I'm now afraid that he's using it too much, so he's not going to get his driving hours. But I think it's just great that he can have independence and freedom without depending on mom and dad to go do what he wants to do in a safe environment. So that's what innovation is about. And I think I just wanted to share that story with you all today. But great day for Morrisville with the Smart Shuttle. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Johnson.
Okay, going last, everything has been said, but I won't repeat everything, but I want to thank staff for all the events that you just heard about here tonight, between National Night Out and Public Safety Day, the Smart Shuttle, the cricket event. Our staff did a tremendous job over the last two weeks with all these events, and I thank them for their efforts. I, too, want to extend my thanks and my gratitude and my great appreciation to Chief Andrews for all she has done for the town of Morrisville. And Martha, are we going to have the opportunity maybe to actually tell her in person before she leaves?
Is it my turn to speak?
Oh, okay. Well, if you've got something, you can you can speak about it now if you want, or later. I'll leave it up to you.
Once you finish.
Okay, thank you. So I want to thank her, but I also want to recognize Captain Pete Acosta is with us in the back tonight, and he is going to be our new interim police chief, and I want to extend my great congratulations to him and my great gratitude to him for stepping up. We are in good hands here in the town of Morrisville. Our staff, our police department staff, our citizens are in great hands. So thank you, Captain Acosta. We look forward to your leadership in the weeks and the months ahead. So, and thank you for being with us tonight. And then the last thing I will say echoes, or I'm going to say, I echo the comments about the dog park. I'm looking forward to hearing about that update at the next council meeting. And then the last thing I will say, there are many festivals this month, and you should never start because you always leave something out. So I apologize in advance if I've left out a festival, but happy Diwali and happy Dashane to all those that celebrate in the month of October. Thank you.
Great. Town Manager Page, you're up.
Thank you. It was a sad and happy day yesterday to announce Chief Andrews is leaving to go back to Durham, where she came to us from 5 years ago. We wish her well. But it was just as exciting for me to name Pete Acosta our interim chief. I, as you've stated, have supreme confidence in his ability to lead us over the next several months. Pete, why don't you stand up? And we'll say thank you in advance. We are setting aside some time next Thursday, October 21st, from 5 to 7 p.m. for the community, anyone who wants to come meet and get to know Pete a little bit better, and say goodbye to Chief Andrews, or so long, since you'll just be across the line there, to Chief Andrews. It'll be informal, both of them standing around in here from 5 to 7 p.m. And Will is working on getting information out that will be blasted out tomorrow.
Okay.
Brandon?
Mayor, good evening. Most of you may have seen an email today. There was a question posed in regards to the crosswalk on Morrisville Carpenter Road, and it had become inoperative. We learned about that about 8:30 this morning, and we discovered that it was a failed battery. So it was just a technical glitch. Our staff is looking at what to do to avoid that happening in the future. They were operative again by about 11:30 this morning. So again, anytime that we have citizens that may notice that that crosswalk is not functional, we would ask they please let the town know as soon as it's practical. We'd like to get right out there, but we don't always have the opportunity to know that it's not functioning depending on when our folks may be traveling through there.
So a phone call to our main number is always the best answer, or?
Yeah, they can contact our main number, or they can contact the Public Works Department, and at I think it's 6070, and they'll send someone out to check it.
Okay. What should they do after hours?
They can still call. There's an after-hours Public Works number,
Okay.
And there's somebody on call to answer that.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you very much for addressing that. We really appreciate it. And it's when our residents, the 30,000 eyes out there, you guys know best what needs to happen to keep yourselves safe. So please let us know as quickly as possible, and we're happy to address it as quickly as we're able. So anything else for the good of the order, Town Manager Page, before we, okay. We have 2 closed sessions this evening to discuss a matter of attorney-client privilege and matters relating to economic development and a real property acquisition. We have no plans for any further public business after our closed sessions this evening. So thank you for watching this meeting of the Morrisville Town Council, and thanks for visiting us in person. We hope you plan to join us again. Please feel free to email your town council members at towncouncil@townofmorrisville.org or visit www.townofmorrisville.org/council for additional contact information. At this time, I would ask for a motion to enter into closed session.
I'll move us into closed session. Pursuant to North Carolina Statute 143.318A3, I move that we go into closed session for attorney-client privilege matter, A4 to discuss matters relating to economic development, and A5 to discuss real property acquisition matter.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor of entering closed session, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, it carries 7-0. It is 7:08. We are